Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus calls for early start of free trade agreement negotiations with the European Union to ensure continued duty-free access of Bangladeshi products. Campaigns for national parliamentary elections and referendum underway across country in festive mood. Candidates going door to door with various promises and plans for voters. Verdict to be announced on February 5th in case of killing 7 people, including burning of 6 bodies to Australia during July Mass uprising. BTV must maintain strict neutrality in broadcast of news and programs during elections period, says Information and Broadcasting Advisor while visiting Bangladesh Television, Dhaka Center. Separatists launched coordinated attacks across Pakistan-Balochistan province. At least 31 civilians, 17 security personnel, including 135 militants, killed. Israeli airstrikes killed 32 people, including women and children, in Gaza, violating ceasefire. And in Nepal, Bangladesh beat Netherlands by 7 wickets in Super 6 match of Women's T20 World Cup qualifiers. Assalamu alaikum. Welcoming all News at 10. I am Nazneen Khalik Zubair. You have just heard the headlines. Now move on to the details. Campaigning for the 13th National Parliamentary election has gained momentum across the country. With 11 days remaining, a festive atmosphere surrounds candidates, supporters and general voters alike as the nation prepares for a long-awaited democratic vote. Day and night, candidates are reaching out to voters with a range of promises. Ahead of the election, BNP Chairperson Tariq Rahman will travel to Khulna and Joshua tomorrow to attend election rallies. He is scheduled to join 2 separate public rallies on the same day. On the other hand, Jamaat-e-Islami Amir Dr. Shafiqur Rahman is continuing election campaigns in Jamalpur and Sherpur. Speaking as the chief guest at a rally in Sherpur, Dr. Shafiqur Rahman said that those who want to sabotage the election must be given a fitting response with faith in Allah. At the same time, Nahid Islam, convener of the National Citizen Party NCP, is actively campaigning in his own constituency, going door to door to voters alongside making promises. Voters are also keenly observing and engaging with the campaign activists of various party nominees and independent candidates. However, voters this time are not just looking for promises. They want assurance that these promises will be implemented and that there will be accountability. Meanwhile, expatriates have for the first time begun participating in voting for the 13th National Parliamentary election through the Postal Vote BD app. In this election, voters will also be casting 2 votes simultaneously for the first time. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus has called for an early start to Free Trade Agreement (FTA) negotiations with the European Union, stressing the need to safeguard Bangladesh's trade preferences in its largest export market once the current duty-free access expires in the coming years. The Chief Advisor made the remarks during a courtesy call by Nuria Lopez, chairperson of the European Chamber of Commerce in the Bangladesh Eurocham, at the State Guest House Jamuna in Dhaka today. Michael Miller, the European Union's ambassador to Bangladesh, took part in the meeting. During the discussion, they discussed the need to accelerate European investment in Bangladesh, how to ensure smooth trade relations between Bangladesh and the EU, and the need for further reforms to improve the country's business climate. They also discussed the upcoming elections and the deployment of international observers to monitor the polls. Professor Yunus said the interim government has recently concluded an economic partnership agreement (EPA) with Japan, paving the way for duty-free access for more than 7,300 Bangladeshi products to the world's 4th largest economy. He added that Bangladesh is preparing to hold similar negotiations with other countries, including the European Union, to ensure continued duty-free access for its products, particularly ready-made garments, to the EU market for the foreseeable future. Eurochamp chairperson Nuria Lopez said Bangladesh needs to begin FTA negotiation urgently as the country may lose its existing trade preferences in the EU, its largest export destination after graduating from least developed country LDC status. She noted that an FTA would attract more European investment to Bangladesh, create jobs and boost exports to advanced Western markets. Lopez pointed out that India is signing an FTA with the EU while Vietnam already has signed an agreement, allowing both middle-income countries preferential access to the European market. EU Ambassador Michael Miller said that the commercial relationship with Bangladesh will evolve after graduation, but not before 2029. He underlined the EU's strong interest to bring European investment and technology to the country, an important market with a population of nearly 200 million, and spoke about the EU readiness to organize an EU-Bangladesh Business Forum in 2026. The chief advisor also emphasized the relocation of factories to Bangladesh, noting that European firms can take advantage of the country's large pool of skilled labours and competitive cost. Professor Yunus expressed satisfaction over the EU's decision to deploy a large contingent of election observers to Bangladesh for the upcoming general election and referendum. Lamia Moshed, SDG coordinator and senior secretary of the government, was also present at the meeting. The Appellate Division of the Supreme Court has dismissed the leave to appeal filed by BNP nominated candidate Munjirul Ahsan Munshi, seeking to regain his candidacy in the 13th National Parliament election from the Kumilla 4 constituency. As a result, he will not be able to contest the election. The Appellate Division, led by the Chief Justice, passed the order today. NCP candidate Hasnat Abdullah in the constituency had filed an application with the Election Commission seeking cancellation of Munjirul Ahsan Munshi's nomination of allegations of loan default. On 17 January, the Election Commission declared the nomination of Munjirul Ahsan Munshi for Kumilla 4 invalid on grounds of loan default. Challenging the legality of the decision, Munshi filed a writ petition with the High Court to restore his candidacy. On 21st January, the High Court summarily dismissed the writ petition, upholding the Election Commission's decision to cancel Munjirul Ahsan Munshi's nomination over the loan default allegations. BNP said that those mentioned as law enforcement authorities in the law should be given election responsibilities without involving BNCC in the election. Party's Election Management Committee Chairman Nazrul Islam Khan said this after a meeting between Chief Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasruddin and BNP delegation at Agargaon Nirbachan Bhavan in the capital today. He said that they called upon the Election Commission to play lawful constitutional role. BNP's Election Management Committee Chairman Nazrul Islam Khan led the delegation. Party Chairman's Advisory Council member Ismail Jabiullah, BNP Senior Joint Secretary General Ruhul Kabir Rizvi Ahmed and former Acting Secretary of Election Commission Dr. Mohammad Zakaria took part in the meeting. Assistant Secretary General of Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami Advocate Ehsanul Mahbub Zubair alleged that a group of people are obstructing election campaign of women workers of Jamaat-e-Islami. This is happening again and again, he said, adding that these incidents are obstacles to fair election. The Jamaat leader said this while briefing newsmen after a meeting between Chief Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasruddin and Jamaat-e-Islami delegation at Agargaon Nirbachan Bhavan in the capital. Advocate Ehsanul Mahbub Zubair further said that Twitter account of Jamaat Ahmed has been hacked. He said that such acts are disgusting and worrisome. The matter has been informed to EC. The Jamaat Assistant Secretary General also said that demand placed to the CC to ensure safe environment for women. They assured that necessary measures will be taken in this regard, he added. Jamaat's Election Management Committee member Colin Noman, Party's Women's Secretary Nurun Nisa Siddiqa, Assistant Secretary Sayeda Rumman and Marzia Begum and Political Affairs Secretary Professor Dr. Habiba Akhtar Chaudhry were present. The verdict in the case over the killing of 7 people, including the burning of 6 bodies in Australia during the July mass uprising, will be delivered on February 5. The 3-member International Crimes Tribunal 2, headed by Justice Nazrul Islam Chaudhry, issued the order today. Meanwhile, the International Crimes Tribunal 1 has taken cognizance of the formal charges and issued arrest warrants against 8 people on charges of crimes against humanity committed during the July mass uprising in Mymensingh. The order was passed today by a 3-member judicial panel by Justice Ghulam Murtaza Majumdar. In another development, the same tribunal has taken cognizance of formal charges and issued arrest warrants against 9 accused in connection with crimes against humanity involving false cases and torture in Jashore in 2016. The next hearings in these 2 cases are scheduled for February 16. Later, Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tajul Islam briefed journalists saying the Ashulia killings were among the most brutal incidents in the history of humanity and that the prosecution is seeking the maximum punishment for those involved. Meanwhile, at Tribunal 1, the 5th day of witness testimonies is underway in the case concerning enforced disappearances and torture at the joint interrogation cell during the Awami League regime, involving Sheikh Hasina and military officials among 13 accused. In addition, the tribunal has scheduled the next round of witness testimonies for tomorrow in the case related to enforced disappearances and torture at the RAP TFI cell. The tribunal is also currently conducting trials in 2 more cases. At the same time, at Tribunal 2, witness testimonies were heard in the case against Jashore President Hassanul Haq Inu, who faces 8 specific charges of 6 people, including Kushtia during the July mass uprising. Another case is also under trial at the same tribunal. In the morning, a total of 26 individuals, including 13 arrested military officers and Hassanul Haq Inu, were produced before the tribunal in connection with these cases. The Appellate Division of the Supreme Court SC today ordered the authorities concerned not to release 5 police convicts who were sentenced to varying jail terms filed by the International Crimes Tribunal ICT prosecution seeking enhancement of punishment in a crimes against humanity case. The case was processed by the ICT following Chankarpur killings in the capital on August 5, 2024. Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tajul Islam shared this while briefing journalists after the appeal hearing. The Apex Court also stayed an observation of the International Crimes Tribunal ICT-1 regarding convict former constable Mohammad Shujon Mia. The prosecution on January 29, 2026 pleaded for a stay on the tribunal's observations, describing the sentences awarded to some convicts in the Chankarpur crimes against humanity case as lenient. Information and Broadcasting Advisor said the Rizwana Hassan has called for the maintaining neutrality in the broadcast of news and programs during the upcoming national parliamentary elections. She made the call today while visiting the Bangladesh television. BTV Director General Mahbubul Alam along with senior officials of the state broadcaster welcomed the advisor. The advisor said that during the election period, utmost care must be taken so that no one can raise allegations of bias based on any news or program. She noted that BTV is the public broadcaster for 18 crore people and emphasized the need to produce more modern and timely content in order to meet public expectations and remain competitive. During the visit, the information advisor told various departments of BTV, including the newsroom, news studio, library and auditorium. She also inspected different parts of BTV that were damaged during the July movement of 2024. At the time, advisor Syeda Rizwana Hassan said that BTV must never again become a target of public anger, adding that she had come to assess what steps the government needs to take to transform BTV into a popular and trusted media outlet. Now international news.